Today I'm inspired to share on ending suffering by ending resistance. I want to offer that the challenges in our lives can be understood as poetry rather than as problems we need to be at war with. I've noticed that pure emotion and pain in itself is just an experiencing. When we're confirmed in our sovereign identity, we are equal to allowing these transients to just pass on through. When we believe in the suspicion that feeling the pain will destroy us, we set up a place for the pain to live deep in the slums of our subconscious. It's the resistance to the difficult energy we get stuck in that turns it into suffering. This is why I call stored emotional burdens undigested difficult energy. These are feelings we don't yet feel ready to feel. So they get stored down there in the dark to be processed later. The thing is, our body-mind system is a technology that runs on dynamic balancing. Our body is always in homeostasis. Our mind also functions this way, and our body-mind will demonstrate anything in the system that is draining vital energy resource. Resistance is energy draining. Unconditional love is energy replenishing. Undigested difficult energy causes a siphoning of our vital energy. This is because problems will actually naturally dynamically balance. It is our resistance to feeling what is present that keeps feeding and restoring the status of problem. I call this the activity of probleming. When we're able to end the resistance to the difficult energy, what was siphoning out in the service of replenishing the problem is reclaimed into our energy totality. Now infinite source energy is eternally available. But we will only be able to receive to the limits of what we believe in. If we use our divine sovereign attention to host a limiting idea that does not serve us, we are lending reality with our attention to the idea. This attention is agreement. So it would seem logical that anything we cease paying attention to will cease to exist. This is ultimately true, but the thing is, we can't pretend we don't care. This is what people call spiritual bypassing. Because everything in existence is vibrational, this means there aren't actually any secrets. If it smells like poo, it's probably poo. We must release the energy from its status as problem if we want our vital energy restored. It has the status of problem simply because we are actively saying no to it. This type of no is vibrationally a yes. Remember, attention creates experience, just like the wave to the particle. Thought forms are vibrational and manifest in the body-mind with an emotion that is the clue to the nature of the thought form. It's the energy signature. We've all been trained to resist feeling the intensity of emotion. But the thing is, we're actually intrinsically unharmed by feeling emotions in their intensity. Thoughts and emotions are transient. We have to make them into a repeating script to make them stay. This is programming. Of course, unconscious reacting to undigested difficult energy leads to actions that will increase dissonance and harm. But the feeling itself, when unresisted, simply transmutes back to neutral energy. We think resistance is noble. We're saying no to something we don't agree with. This doesn't help. Part of Earth life has going against love available as an activity. We know this activity as suffering. If you want to end suffering, then you simply end resisting reality by receiving the problem into the infinite, depolarizing presence of the unconditional love we're all made of. Putting our hands over our eyes or locking things down in the basement is saying no, and vibrationally, this is still a yes. Attention means yes to existing. The cure to resistance is returning to reality consciousness. Why? Because the true essence of consciousness is unconditional love. This is really real reality. So, we can just let the pain pass on through, but instead, we build scaffolding around these hidden areas of difficulty, and we put that yellow tape around it, and we call this boundaries. And then we'll attack anyone who gets too close. This builds up so much resistance in our systems, and eventually leads to pain or disease manifesting in the body, and often also to actions that harm others. The defense of this hidden pain is a form of attack. Remember, all beliefs must manifest. Undigested sad stories will manifest as pain in all the many forms that's available in. Challenges are simply the contrast that reveals opposites. To experience success, one must know failure. Day means nothing without night. The poles are two sides of one coin. Eventually, we are done with fighting the contrast. Unconditional love is the dynamic balancing of the contrast. This wisdom happens within us all very naturally when we're ready. If this episode resonates with you today, then you are ready.